I think it's fair to say that if I asked you to name an Ivor Wood production, the chances are that unless you're a die-hard fan who knows the majority of his work, you're very unlikely to say Bertha. And I think that is a great shame because, in my opinion, Bertha is one of Ivor Wood's greatest accomplishments in the world of animation. It originally ran for 13 episodes in 1985-86 on the BBC, and it has been aired in various places since, in broadcast, streaming, and home media. And it was set in a factory, Spotty's Wooden Company, and each episode would see a machine that is alive called Bertha making toys and products, and the factory workers on the floor, including Ted, Roy, Nell, Flo, Panjit, and Mr. Duncan, making these products with this machine. And there'd also be an upstairs element as well. So you'd have the design office and you'd have sort of the admin office, the manager, and everything else. And it was actually quite a complex storyline for what is essentially a children's TV show. But the thing about Ivor's work is it appeals to all ages. Just, not just kids. It sort of has a kid-friendly exterior, but there's always stuff going on in there that helps work. It works for adults as well. And I think it's fair to say that if you remade it today, there are certain elements that would be different. But when you look at it from an animation standpoint, some of for such a low-key series and one with quite a bizarre premise for a children's TV show set on a factory floor, you just never sort of think that that's going to work at all. And it almost feels sometimes like a fly on the wall. It's like one of those sort of reality shows. And in future episodes, I'll go over what I mean by that. But the animation, you can't fault it. It's just incredible. You've got instances where the wheels will be going around, the little cogs on Bertha will be going around, but there'll be different ones going around at different paces. And you think, well, this is stop frame. You're working with that. And you've got other instances where you'll have like another little dial thing that'll be moving at a different rate. And you just think, this is incredible. That he's managing to have these things move at different speeds and in perfect time without a hint of choppiness in there. There are instances where multiple characters will move in different ways to facilitate certain actions. I'm thinking of, say, the flying bear, for example, with the ladder, with Roy on the ladder and the way that everything kind of works together. The bear floating up, flying about. I mean, yeah, there are so many instances here. I mean, even just Tom, the robot, who I don't think I've mentioned yet, as a character, he sort of moves in a particular way. And it's the timing of everything that is just beautiful. And certainly the mark of somebody and people who know what they're doing at this point in their careers. I just absolutely love it. But I tell you one thing that's a real shame, and it's that in the 1980s, they released some VHS of this series on BBC Video here in the UK. I owned one of them. I watched it, all the time. Absolutely loved it. Was really looking forward to the DVD era after the sort of entertainment rights buyout of Woodland in the early 2000s. You thought you're going to get a complete series. I mean, after all, they released the complete Charlie Chalk. But then when I'm looking at it years later, they did release a DVD, but it's essentially a reissue of a previous one. But there is a mistake on it because they label the episodes on here as the best machine competition, the windmills, Mouse and the Works, and the great painting job. But the unfortunate thing is, from memory, the best machine competition is not actually on the DVD. The episode featured is, I think it's called More Speed, Less Work, which is the one about time and motion study. Yet another example of how in a show, that looks like it's for children there. This was a mistake, I think, to release this series, in this way. But I'd like to think that that's because they were labeling it still as for children. I mean, after all, on the label, they've got the U sign there with the little C in it, which means for children. And in that point, in the early to mid 2000s, when they were releasing this stuff, they were still working on that old model. Whereas in more recent years, and we've seen it with some of Ivor's work on Blu-ray and stuff, we've got complete series now because they say, well, not only kids are consuming this, it's going to be the people who grew up, it's going to be adults now buying this for 10, 15, 20 pounds, 25, 30 pounds sometimes to get the entire lot. And in that case, it's remastered. This would have just been off the old broadcast master or whatever. But, I think it's a great shame that aside from, I think it's Australia, there hasn't been a complete release of Bertha. I mean, why hasn't there been? Because we are at a perfect time now. I hope Fabulous Films, who've been reissuing some stuff from that stable, even some of the film fair stuff, I hope that they go into the Woodland animation stuff and start sort of remastering some of these things. I don't know what exists of these. Maybe they only exist on tape. Wherever they exist, however they exist, just put it on something. Put it on something so that we can buy it and we can see it. Because sure, there's going to be some people who will send me messages after here and say, put it on, it's on YouTube. Go and look at it on YouTube. Yeah, but the thing with YouTube is it's a bit blurry and a bit sort of pixely. And, you're working off of essentially like video stuff. And so the quality isn't there. And certainly me as a viewer, I like to see all the detail of the dolls and the puppets that we've seen with some of these other remasters. And yeah, it's just a series that I think needs to be issued on either DVD or Blu-ray as a complete set here in the UK, because it will pick up other fans, because it is funny, it's kind of bizarre. It had a premise that just could have gone on, and sadly, like a lot of Woodland stuff, it's confined to one series. But what a series. So tell me, what do you think? Did you love Bertha as I did? Did you love the theme tune that was very, very catchy? Did you hope that there would be another series at some point? Whatever your thoughts on this matter, please let me know all your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you again for another episode of the Woodland Connection.